We need that, bro.
That's what we do.
No, we need.
We clap.
Yeah.
Bro.
The way we start is someone says something sexual and then we clap.
I sent Brodi a message. I was like, we need to upgrade our production. Like,
What do you mean? Bro, how upgrading do you want, bro? Okay, but you're the producer right now. So.
okay, when you're so ready, bro.
When you're so ready. Yeah, they JTI.
Yo,
Mornings.
this is Gremlin.
This is KANE.
Welcome back to the Let's Talk Foreplay podcast, season 4, episode 10.
Numero 10,
Already.
baby. The
And-
last episode for the next 9 months.
No. Please. Yes, so as requested and planned and, just based on our previous conversations, we have a very, very special guest. Welcome, JP.
Yeah. Fire.
Okay, so JP, I'm not going to give you an introduction, but I'm going to give you an introduction based on what I know.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But before we need to brought to you by the Eminem Music Academy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Home of the DJ school.
Yeah. Here we go.
Taking
do it.
triple B's to platinum. That's what we do, yeah. Teaching you all elements about being a DJ, not just the beats.
Shout out.
Fire,
I love it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. Not bad. Not bad. But yes, of course,
That was better than Teddy.
it was much better than Teddy.
Teddy.
Sorry,
Suck.
Teddy.
Terrible.
Sorry, Teddy.
Quena Music, Quena Studios. That's where we're recording from, home of the Eminem Pro DJ Academy here at Eminem Music Academy. If you are interested in signing up, we have 2 of our students in the room today as audience members. You can ask them how they feel about it. You can say something now while you're T and
Tell them about how great we are.
Yo, hectic. Yo, ladies, bro.
I felt it.
Wonderful.
W Glaze.
I learned a lot, especially when I came. I thought it was very simple, but it's actually not. There's a lot that happens behind DJing, and if you think you're just gonna go, it's not.
Can I tell them about our conversation today?
Ooh.
So I just get home now. I just got home, and I see a voice note from Tina, and I'm like, okay, cool, give me 10 minutes. I just need to sit down. I listen to the voice note, and he's like, look here, no, I'm trying to make a memory cue, but every time I press M, it just memories the beginning of the song. Now I'm like, I know he's stressing right now. Because I specifically told him on Monday or yesterday when we did the class, I was like, guys, please go home and prep. Set your mix-in point, your mix-out point, your halfway, all of the stuff. And he's like, nah, man, I don't know why I keeps doing this. Now I send him the voice note. Now I tell him, look here, press Q, then press memory. Then you must not there. This man send me a video. It's not working. I tell him, Buta, you must first press Q, then memory. And halfway through typing that message, he's like, nah, it's fine, I got it.
Yeah.
Sharp. Moving on.
Hey man,
Yeah.
you never cease to amaze me, bro. Yes, so special educational and informative episode today.
1,000%.
We're gonna try and keep it as informative and non-kakpraat as possible.
True.
Yeah, we can read
It's
that.
difficult for me.
Durban. Okay, first, man, hold on. I'm with you about our guests, bro. So, yes, we're going to have a chat with JP about all things finance and taxes and just making the most of every tiny little cent that we get, because we really do have to stretch our money as far as possible. So, last week's conversation was all about, VAT and taxes and what's the best way to get the most out of every cent you're spending and obviously everything you're making. So, hopefully you can help us out and give us some answers as to some of the things that we've been
Hopefully too.
facing and challenging. But we'll get into that. How was your weekend?
It was good. So I recently became a dad of 2.
Congrats.
Fire.
So
Twins.
As in the
No. first one is 2.5. This one is now 4 weeks.
Amazing, bro.
So nah,
This one said no gap.
no, it is what it is.
Zero gap.
Zero
So
gap.
sleep is on basically a negative,
Yeah,
but
it is.
all love, all love.
Lovely,
We'll get
bro.
there.
Yo,
Congrats,
that, the
man.
one is terrible too, and the other one is gonna funky.
So the
soon.
problem is the first one is
Funky.
relatively well behaved. So he made it seem as if it would happen again. False advertising. So, it's all love. So my weekends basically consist of family time
Being
at the
a dad.
moment,
Got you.
but wouldn't change it for the world. I think it's amazing.
Lovely, bro. Amazing,
Yeah.
man. KANE?
Nah, I don't know. I don't know.
No gigs?
I didn't still do much. I had see, this is why we must record on a Monday because
You forgot.
It was yesterday, bro. It's like 24 hours later.
a lot has happened in 24 hours, bro. I got
He got that voice note.
Yeah.
It's all
That's
it's all
how I was
done.
Students stressing him out.
Yeah.
I think I had Jack on Friday. Yeah, I had Jack on Friday.
Mm. That's it.
Easy.
And you
It
were
was
in
fun,
Durban.
though. I didn't have any
Yeah.
laptop problems. So.
Mm.
Any
Are you
weekend without
fully
laptop problems-
laptop now?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Any weekend without laptop problems is a great weekend.
That's
Wow.
That is true.
Well done in the
Um,
transition.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I was in Durban. I didn't have any gigs for that weekend, so I was like, let me try and make something happen. So I literally just messaged some promoters and friends and venue owners and whatever last week, and managed to get 2 gigs. But the fast was starting this weekend, and 19.
Fast?
Yeah,
Waza.
yeah. There's
Not
like I don't know if it. I think it's
Sweden vibes.
no, like Hindu fast.
Oh.
Yeah,
oh.
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh.
So that like a lot of the market was
Was down.
chilling. So there wasn't
One
much
thing
going
about
on.
us, no, we have terrible timing when it comes to wanting to go to other cities.
Bro.
But I mean, that probably plants the seed for something in the future.
Oh,
because,
definitely.
Because
So
I
you
think because you showing face
it's that
and
time
you,
if you plant the seed, you walk away, then they say,
Sowing the seeds, brother. Let's talk about that quick.
so in the seeds.
Or not. We'll wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, it's Daisy's next weekend. Yeah, okay.
No, we got to announce the first half of the lineup for Friday. So we got Bravo Leroux to represent the cave
Shout out.
at Sowing the Seeds. Huge, huge, especially with what we spoke about on the pod not too long ago about how we felt about being overlooked and that sort of thing.
Mm.
And it was like a super positive conversation with the organizers as well. Because what we had to do was we obviously had to submit a list of people who we felt, okay, these are the names that we can see representing us. And Bravo was pitched, and it was like a conversation of, okay, cool. We know what happened. We know the whole social media thing, but we can't deny that he deserves this.
Yeah.
And the organizers came forward and they also said, "You 1000% correct. He deserves it. This is something that should happen." I can't talk about. Well, I technically can because by the time this goes live, he's
The last time you risked this.
Yeah,
the
but
time
nah.
to go live.
So-
So you had to put down.
No, but it
episode.
has been announced.
Well, Bravo Leroux's been
Yeah.
announced, but Kindly Nash is going to be announced tomorrow. So Kindly
Okay.
Nash is going to represent the cave on the Saturday.
Oh,
And that was also like a dope thing. Like I was surprised that Daisies themselves didn't get Kindly Nash for one of the main stages
Yeah.
because of the year that he's had. Like this dude has famous American YouTubers reviewing his music on stream, and it's like it's huge, man.
Yeah.
So he was like one of the top names on my list. So I was fortunate enough to get both of them approved because we also ended up placing second in the overall voting for
Sowing the seeds.
So obviously the budget
Amazing.
was
Wow.
Shout out, Kay.
Yeah.
super dope. So the budget was a bit bigger, and we got later slots for both Friday and Saturday. So that was like the cool thing. And then I also got to give 2 more people an opportunity pro bono, but I mean the chance is still there. So I'm having Damage Control open up for Bravo on Friday,
Fire.
and then I have Mia opening up for Nash on Saturday.
Nice.
So it's like impromptu 30-minute sets for them. And I'm thinking about it now. And it's crazy because from a set time perspective, I've never played that late at Daisy's before.
What's
So
up?
it's all-
Oh, you played in the day.
Both occasions that I played.
Damn. Well, there you go. I mean, you're putting people on, bro.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, that's always
Yes,
it's always a plus.
It's a good feeling, man, because like I'm looking at this from a perspective of like, okay, cool, we could have had gang nepotism. I could
Yeah.
have said, fuck it, give me the money, put myself and my
Yeah.
homies on, split the money between 4 30-minute sets,
Yeah.
call it a day. But it's like you genuinely taking it away from people who deserve the recognition for this platform. So
For sure.
yeah, that was
And just to add to that, the way you also show appreciation for that is also amazing, because I think it's important that you, in the way you articulate it, you're also making it seem like it's an honor, and that's only what they can take forward is making it better than before.
yeah.
And I think that's also amazing that you do that.
I was super crazy because like when I got the go ahead, so they made it like my responsibility to reach out
Yeah.
to Bravo and be like, yo, you had, go sort it out.
Mm.
And I was like, that's so cool. And then I hopped on a phone call with him on I think it was last Sunday, and spoke to him and I was like, yo, I chose you. Like I want you to represent my brand on the stage. And he was telling me that he woke up that morning and he just felt like it was gonna be a good day. And I was like, yeah, I like that.
That's
So
when you
it's
know.
fate.
That's when you
It's
know.
a fate type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super excited just to see it all unfold. So yeah, if you guys are at Daisy's next weekend, come through. We're gonna be there for an hour on the Friday and an hour on the Saturday. And you guys are gonna get to see Damage Control, Mia, Bravo Leroux, and Kindly Nash go crazy.
Fire.
Nice.
Well done. Well done.
Well
Kevin.
done.
Good stuff, man.
Super stuff.
All right, let's get into it.
JP, please tell us
So-
about your financial qualifications.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's start with it. Okay,
Before-
let me just start
before we
with a
take your
disclaimer
advice.
first,
Yeah,
because
that's a good idea.
let's start. Like, this is not financial advice. I'm
Mm.
not telling you what to do. What I can do is give you context on how it works currently. So I am a chartered accountant. I did BCom, honors, articles, you name it. I spent some time at the Big Four, and then
What's that?
so the Big Four is like the auditing firms. So like it's Deloitte, EY, or the basically the big consulting houses.
Gotcha.
So what that does is it takes you into larger corporations like your ShopRites, your listed companies, and also takes you into smaller companies that are growing, and their interpretations of each one. And the nice part about that is you get to see the big of the big and the small of the small.
Yeah.
And then joined a American startup for a few years, and now I'm working back in South Africa. And my perspective is basically on understanding what the Tax Act is. Because I think a lot of people think of it as the afterthought, where tax is very much about planning it and making sure but you can only plan if you understand. And I think there's definitely a gap between how we treat tax in our lives and how you can think about it going forward.
Okay, well, let's talk about that gap, man.
Yeah.
So, I think the main objective of what we're trying to do today is provide knowledge for the everyday person, obviously, but specifically for creatives and entrepreneurs, whether they are DJs, musicians, photographers,
Influences.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, we spoke about the influencer tax and all of that stuff. So very much for the freelancer, the entrepreneur, the small business owner, the sole proprietor. Take us through your best practices from today. I decide to start a business, and it's just me. I'm self-employed, and going through the processes of CIPC, registering your business and setting up bank accounts, and then, once you start earning money, what that best practice is. So let's start from that first moment.
Cool. So let's start with why you want to start the business, right? So starting the business is a legal mechanism to protect yourself. Because if you trade through a business, the recourse any company has is to the business. They don't go directly to you as a person, as Calvin.
Sure.
And I think that's the understanding of creating the business is to create that legal barrier between yourself. Because the last thing you want is everything that you worked for to crumble because of one bad decision. So that's the start of having the business. When you do CIPC, the registration of the business will be in your name as the director to get the BO, which is the beneficial ownership, right? So beneficial ownership is basically telling the CIPC ultimately who's the owner of this company. And to do that, you have what's known as a share register. Most likely, it's either 100 or 1 share issued to you. And even though it's issued to you, it still creates a barrier between yourself as a trader and you as the individual.
Okay.
And I know I speak about it differently, but I need you to understand that your business is not you. And the way the Tax Act works for the business is not the same that it works for you. Because I think the everyday creative starts with not having a company. They start creating online, they create at home, get ready with me, all those things. So they start off as an individual. But you're an individual that will get taxed as an individual.
Sure.
And I think when you start thinking about it as a separate entity, now you need to know the rules of the game. And I think it is a game at the end of the day, because it is regulated by the Tax Act, which is signed into law. So everything that is treated or interpreted is written. It's just that there's a lot of money spent in making it complex and making sure that there's nuance and there's gray areas.
So that
So
it
that
confuses and
it
lost in
confuses.
translation.
You end up with tax debt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's start with just the individual, right? Your tax calc works in 4 parts.
Your tax calculation. Okay.
Works
Remember
in 4
layman's
parts.
terms.
Yes, yeah.
Gotta
You-
take
but
your
I like
chartered
it. No,
accountant
but
out.
I like it. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it. The tax calculation works in 4 parts.
Yeah.
There's income, which is the money, or not even just money. It's things that you earn, which is the earlier of receipt or accrual. Now that's very technical, but what that means is that you basically get taxed before you get the money at times,
Yeah.
or if you get the money first, you'll get taxed on the money
Later.
first.
Yeah.
The second part is the deductions. So that's things that you can reduce your income with. That gets in a calculation to the net taxable income. That taxable income gets put into a table, right? That table determines how much tax you owe. Then the last part of a tax calc is what's known as a rebate. This is just because you are alive. So whatever your tax amount is gets reduced by the rebate.
Okay.
And
Are you
now
following? Ben's
now
got a blank.
but now exactly. But now exactly. So how do you as the normal everyday person remember all of these
Yeah.
parts?
Or
You don't-
process or, understand it. Yeah.
Understand it.
Yeah.
What do you mean the rebate is because I'm alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and again, it's back to it's designed to be complex for
Sure.
a reason. But fundamentally, you earn something. As an entrepreneur or as a business owner or an individual creative, anything that you use to create that thing, which is what's known as an expense in the production of income, that you can write off.
Sure.
So in your context, a USB. If you weren't a laptop DJ,
Equipment.
your USBs. Let's say you need to replace batteries and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like that is fundamental to you providing the service.
Business expenses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas the clothes, for example, clothes is considered like a mixed use item. Because let's say you do hypothetically have a brand that you shoot for, you can use that clothes for something else also.
Yeah.
Unless you got, let's say like a Daisies, you got a specific jacket that was supposed to use at Daisies this year. That's the only time you can wear it.
And you can't
You
use.
can't
yeah.
necessarily wear it afterwards
Sure,
because
sure.
it's allocated for that. That then gets fully written off.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's the two parallels that is different when you are trading like you are.
If I can pause you. So coming back to the mixed, what do you call it?
Mixed use.
Mixed
Yeah.
use. does that apply to something like petrol, for instance? How do you differentiate between travel expenses and everyday use?
So for that, petrol is very specific.
Yeah.
That's you need to do what's known as a logbook.
And that's a
Right.
mission.
So you
need to write down your kilometers.
you need to write down the kilometers, and to your point, you don't know which part is professional, which one is personal, but you know the distance between your house and where you're going.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you basically take the total kilometers you got. This is how much I did for gigs. This is how much I can write off. Because the Tax Act is designed to, it's not meant to hinder you. We just don't keep track of everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's where
so who can now look at that and say, hey, but what if I just say everything I'm going to is for work? Like, I mean, obviously it's not realistic,
Yeah,
but if I'm going to say 90%, how do you fact check?
So they fact check through audits. So remember, SARS works on a tell me now, I'll ask later.
Okay.
So you can technically, when you submit your return, write everything off.
Yeah.
But when they ask you for the logbook, when they ask you for the receipts, and then you don't have anything, then you still.
But what I'm saying is, in your logbook, you could
just write it down.
not necessarily fabricate it, but you could say, okay, I'm coming for a meeting, a lunch, it's everything business related. You can write it down as such.
If as long as you justify the, SARS is not going
Yeah.
to be able to
Yeah,
investigate
it's not
that.
like they have
Yeah.
a camera on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
But also, if you read your odometer,
yeah.
and they have asked this before,
Yes.
where you take picture at the start, picture at the end,
Okay.
and let's say it's 15,000 kilometers. You're telling me that out of the 15,000 kilometers, it was only gigs that you drove to.
Sure.
That's also not realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's also important that yes, you can stretch it, and there are ways to stretch it. You just need to be able to justify.
It just mustn't look ridiculous.
Exactly.
It needs to make sense. So with the things like that, like logbooks, receipts for anything, I think we asked the question, how worth it is it to actually put in all that effort for 12 months? You're not going to get everything, but as much as you, even if you were super disciplined and diligent about it, realistically, is it worth putting in all that effort in the return, the financial return?
Also, on that, must all these, I assume all these transactions have to come from the business bank account.
Ideally, yes. So, but it doesn't always have to, because you can always just invoice the company based on if you have any personal expenses. Let's say, for example, you bought on your own card by accident.
Yeah.
You can just invoice the company
Okay.
for that amount so that they can deduct
But
in the right
ideally,
place. But ideally, through the company.
So anything that is a company expense, you go.
Yes. So because of and that's because when SARS does the audit, they don't go to you. Like I
They go
said,
to the
it's
company,
separate.
yeah.
They go to the company only.
Sure.
So if you are writing off or you're claiming something, it needs to be through the business bank account. And I think the way we structure things is so that we can get that benefit, but also be able to live. So in your example, when you said you pay yourself a salary,
Yeah.
that's a personal finance thing. That's not a tax thing.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because if you had to apply for a loan or get a car, they're going to look at you.
Yes.
They're not going to
Yeah.
look at your company.
Yeah.
And that's a mechanism that sole proprietors use to say that this is how much salary I get. So I can qualify for this car. I can get this credit card in your personal capacity,
Sure.
not the business idea. But I think back to your question was on is it worth it?
Yeah.
It's also dependent on your industry. So let's say, for example, you have multiple small transactions that add up to 1,000 Rand. If you had to now use that 1,000 Rand to claim back in your business, hypothetically, it saves you 270. Because you're getting a deduction. So maybe just a step back. I mentioned that your taxable income gets put into a table for employees or individuals. For a business, it's a flat 27%, regardless of how much you make. So if you are having smaller transactions, you can take 27% of those transactions, and that's how much it's worth. So if you have 100,000 Rand expense,
You get 27K
you can
back.
get 27K back.
Well, there you go.
And again, it depends on your type of business.
Yeah.
Because not all businesses are capital intensive.
Yes.
DJing, unless you purchase the CDJs yourself, you rocking up, most likely the most expensive thing you have is the laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not very capital intensive. So it might not be worth that. However, if you are now traveling, hopefully one day, speaking it into the existence, where you are traveling, you are purchasing overseas, then I mean, you're now converting. That's going to have, regardless of the amount, it's going to have a big impact. So those are the types of things that you can maintain, but then you get apps for that, right? Get cut.
Sound cut.
Completely.
I don't know. Can you still see it?
Can you just see? So like I was saying, there's potentially apps for that, right? That you should keep your physical records for as long as possible, but importantly, you're going to submit it digitally. So you keeping record of the big stuff through an app is not a problem, as long as you have a valid tax invoice. And I think the unfortunate part for an employee, because an employee doesn't get the same benefits like that. So if you are an employee, unfortunately, you can't claim your travel to work. You can't.
How are you gonna get money if you don't go to work?
Unfortunately, that's just how it works, because the employee setup and the business sole proprietor setup is completely different tax worlds, and should be treated as such.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of the not confusion, but that's where the questions come. Should I spend everything that I think business related? Should I spend it all on my business account, or should I pay myself a salary, use that? There's so many questions and so many variables, and it's just like, I don't think there is an answer.
There isn't, but there is. What you can do is be prepared.
Yeah.
So what I always strongly suggest is, as a business owner, most likely you're in this Feb, you run the risk of paying too much tax if you don't know what that bill looks like. So back to the DJ specific example, if you buy your own set of CDJs, you don't get to write the full CDJs. You write it off over, because it's an asset. So you get to write it over a certain amount of time. So now CDJs is a big cash flow, right? It's expensive.
Yeah.
But what it does is it reduces your taxable income for the next 3 years.
Why?
Because it's an asset that you use in the production of income.
Okay.
So when we speak about, as a business owner, the more money you don't spend, most likely the more money you're going to pay to SARS.
Wow.
Which is a different mindset.
It's a little backward.
Backward
So
from when you
if you're just stacking up money in your business account, you're liable to pay more.
Most likely. Because of the fact that you are earning more, clearly you are doing something that earns a lot of money. Your expenses are a lot lower.
It's imbalanced.
Yeah. And SARS is going to take your profit. So what people have done in the past is mechanisms like paying yourself a salary because your business income reduces, and you then pay income in your personal capacity.
Correct.
So it's shifting the tax liability, which is a mechanism. SARS doesn't miss out because you pay tax and the business pay tax. SARS is happy.
Yeah.
But I think,
and also, the percentage is now different because 27% on the business side compared to
whatever your personal, well, depending on how much you're withdrawing, it can be a bit more expensive on the other side.
But it's like there's not a right way, bro.
There is no right way. But I do encourage everybody to just understand your own situation. Because of the fact that even when we're talking now, it does seem like, but I'm saying, if this happens, this happens.
Yes.
If this happens, this
very
happens.
Hypothetical.
It's very hypothetical. Whereas you need to be honest with yourself and say, this is what I do. This is how my life works. And this is how it affects me. Because the problem is if you are taking advice from someone that's not in your position, you're going to get advice that's suitable for them, not for you.
Sure.
And I think it's important that you have these conversations because we don't talk about money. Like we don't. Because as soon as we start talking about money, people think, hey, are you being arrogant or that sort of thing. But it's all about just information, right? Because at the end of the day, why would why would we withhold that if it benefits our people?
Exactly.
If it benefits all of us?
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, you are in the position, and you both of you, where you can go to a gig and make in one night what someone makes in a whole month.
Yeah.
Right. So it's difficult to then take advice from someone that is in that predicament, because they're living a different lifestyle to you.
Of course.
So and it's important to know that these conversations are not meant to stop you. It's meant to empower you. Because the more you can only do better if you know better.
Yeah.
But that's
So-
the thing. The education is so scarce that when people find out that little bit of information, it's like,
Or they monetize it, right? So like this, my discussion with you now, most likely you would have a chat with your accountant. You sit together, he charges you consulting fee or whatever
Yeah.
for chatting about it. But there's entire industries always built on inefficiencies. The world's always been that way.
Of course.
So it's
DJ school.
so it's meant to be a case of once you understand something, you can then sell it.
Yeah.
And it's important that you have these conversations with the people in your circle, because how many times have you found two aunties are in the same position, but they earn vastly different? But it's because they don't talk about money.
yeah.
They stay in the same position because they have a job, and in South Africa job scarcity is
Yeah.
real.
Yo.
So when you talk about money, it's always through the lens of I'm better than you, and it's never about what is actually better for you. Because think about that: if that person stays in the job for the next 5 years, they're earning vastly less than the person that's doing the exact same work at another company.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true also.
Yeah.
The pay scale is crazy.
Yeah.
Yes, but I strongly encourage everybody to just think about your own situation, because, like you said, and I know it sounded like, why would I need to spend more? But the spending more is a cash flow discussion. It's not a tax discussion.
Yeah.
And I think when we do look at it through the lens of how I can benefit myself, it might hurt now.
Yeah.
But you're actually saving more money in the next 2 to 3 years because
Yeah.
I'm doing this.
That's the rewiring of your brain that you have to do, because you have to think about it like, okay, right now, this is tough. But in 12 months, when that tax return comes, it's like, okay, that's going to be worth it.
So now, can I add my rent to that bill?
So, do you use your entire place to practice your DJs sets and stuff? Like your kitchen, your bedroom, is every part of your house being used
Just
for prep?
the 2 bedrooms and the lounge.
Two bedrooms. So you need 3 rooms. Is there a CDJ in each?
I move the decks around wherever I'm
Different
comfortable.
backdrops and
Yeah. So wherever
outside,
I'm
rooftop.
comfortable right now, that's
Yeah.
what we do nothing.
So it's all relative to the square footage, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you have a 60 square meter flat, and you use 20 squares to practice in any space, either whether it's the lounge,
Yeah.
the area you need to practice and do your craft is 20 squares. That's what you write off. So you take 20 squares of the total per month, because without you doing that set at home, you can't go and perform it.
Yeah.
It's unrealistic for you to go there unprepared.
Sure.
So that is done, and like I mentioned, in the production of income. Because you're practicing the set that you can go and charge that fee at that club or wherever the gig is.
Yeah.
So now my next question is, so like, let's say I find this 20 square meters,
Yeah.
right? And I find out what the value of that is. Do I then invoice that, or do I like pay that to me because I pay rent from a personal capacity?
So
Yeah, how do you log that?
so again, it depends on how you. If you sign the lease personally,
Yeah.
then yes, I would send that way.
Okay.
Because it makes it validated expense on the business side. But SARS won't get that technical if needed. All they need is the support, which would have been the lease contract, which you signed in your personal capacity.
Yeah.
But you can validate that the 20 squares was used for that. So take the picture of the studio or whatever you used, because at the end of the day, that is the dedicated space where the invoicing is going extra. if you know what I mean. It's taking it to that level where it's bulletproof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
can't
necessarily,
deny it.
you can't deny it, but it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say no, but you also can't, it's okay if you
But,
don't.
If they do come and ask questions, you're ready for it. Yeah.
I have
Exactly.
2 rooms now.
Yeah.
One where we sit and we play and we make numbers.
And FIFA, yeah.
And then the other one where the equipment just storage for when I need to go private gig and stuff. Can I charge for that also?
So now, are you now trying to game the system, or are
I'm-
you
I'm
do you
just
do you
curious
validate?
right
so
I'm just
so
curious.
so do you, it's and again, it's valid. You do need a place to store your items, right? So the question then is that not just taken into account into your originals, where I practice my DJ set. This is the space where I store my things. All of that together is 30 squares.
Oh, so I put it in as
You
one.
put it in as one.
Okay.
You get it.
Ah, it's-
Because remember, the more complicated you get, the more you need to justify.
yeah.
The more questions.
The more questions get asked.
Yeah.
And I think, especially when you don't understand a lot, just do what you know. Because as you start understanding this is an added element of what I can do,
Yeah.
then you build on that.
Yeah.
Don't go full, because there's complex structures. Not to speak your head off, but your company can be owned by a trust. The trust can pay beneficiaries. That's a whole different tax world compared to what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
And I think it's important you don't need to know that. You need to know that the basics about when you earn an income, SARS is going to tax you, and everything you use to make an income can be written off.
I think that's the most simple way to understand.
Yeah, that-
for sure.
that is
If you just have that sort of mindset. Okay, so we've applied all these theories and these practices. We've put it into place.
Theories.
You know, yeah. But
Amen.
and now we're thinking, okay, let's stretch it a bit further. So I'm sure you obviously listened to last week's episode, and I explained how I do my kind of thing. So what's that sort of next step where we can take it just a little bit further and say, okay, we've got our bookkeeping is up to date. We've got somebody that does our tax returns on the yearly basis. Do we now maybe reach out to someone like yourself or a professional that deals in these type of things to look at everything that you're doing and give you a sort of a customized plan or structure of what to do?
So let me throw that back to you. Have you ever sat with your accountant after they submitted your return?
Yes.
And what did they give you?
What I'm currently doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean we're talking 5-6 years of this sort of process now. You know?
But in terms of what he has submitted,
yeah,
did he show you what he put in and what was deducted, and
I wouldn't say in that
in that
detail. Yeah.
So that's really where I would start.
Okay.
I would start and sit with the person that is doing it and say, this is, and he will be able, or she will be able to tell you why they did it.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason why they put it like that.
Sure.
Because I think once you understand, since you've now been doing it for the last 5 years, you'll see that there's patterns. There's certain things that I put, but when you're in the grind, you don't notice it.
No.
So I think importantly, the best thing you can do is reflect. Reflect on what has happened for you the last 2 or 3 years. Then understand, once you have that baseline, then you can chat to a professional. Most likely your bookkeeper will also know someone.
Yeah.
And they also have strategies to how, but we've never asked. Like you've never asked him, if I do this, what would the effect be really?
Yeah.
Because again, you're running. You're always racing.
Yeah.
What's the next gig? What's the next thing? And you never take that time to just look at it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the luxury, not the I wouldn't say luxury, but that is the point where you can fully understand what the impact would be for you.
Sure.
And I think once you know that, then you can start identifying certain strategies, because the personal, what is your goals? Because if you are the type of person that wants to have a house, you want to have a flat, you want to have multiple properties, you want to have a forex lifestyle, those sort of things come at a cost.
Yeah.
But they also are goals.
Yeah.
So if you want to have that, if you want to buy R1 million property today, you need to get into a net amount into your bank account of X, 25K, 30K, whatever that number is. So if that is your goal, then you need to be able to work towards pulling 25,000 rand a month.
Yeah.
How do I do that? And I think, again, it boils down to the personal finance aspect.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to own property. Not everybody wants to have certain things, and that's okay. But how do I achieve my goal to better live my lifestyle? Because what happens in a hypothetical world if you are a DJ that gets booked internationally in a dream destination? Technically, you can write that off as a business expense.
Yeah.
Because you're driving to this destination to perform my duty.
Sure.
And that's where whatever your goal and alignment thing comes, that's the best part. That's the synergy. Now you're paying for something, big cash, but I get it. I get the write-off at the end of the year because I have these two gigs.
Cool.
And I think the way we approach these things is similar to how you would approach your normal budget. Or if you are budgeting, but the way you would approach normal looking at your your income and expenses, because I think
income expenses.
yeah, because I think the hardest part, and I think I would encourage everybody to do this: download your bank statement. Like, no joke, download your bank statement. See exactly whatever, you'll then see what is going in and what is going out of your bank account. Because sometimes you forget. Like you had something in the cart from January and now you're sitting on the 25th or the 24th of the month and you realize why you're 800 rand down. But you bought that 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So you were like, nah, I was bowling then.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, if you bowl, let's say you bowl for 3 months, that's how much? Like few thousands, right? And I think the way we should approach it is literally just look at your bank statement. And now you have these nice banking apps that show you your percentage of which store you bought, and it highlights to you, hey, this is where I spend most of my money. But I mean, that's all part of it. And there isn't a right answer. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there's a right answer. But
Why not, bro?
Because
we need it.
because I think it's important that you do get an understanding.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the worst part is that you get to this point when you're already earning money. You're already in the rat race.
Yeah.
Yo, that's literally me, bro.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
It's so confusing also, man, because like I also just left my day job last year and I was like, okay, cool, this is
Full time.
yeah, this is what we're doing. And like you also just know, okay, cool, there must be a business and money must go in and you get the money from there, but it's not as straightforward as it seems, you know. So, and like I wouldn't call it a rude awakening, but I had like a thing of like, now that email came from CIPC and it's like, okay, you must update this thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is, bro.
Yeah.
I just said I own this thing and I thought we fine.
Yeah. You got to
And
pay
And
to
then
have a
after that-
business.
and then
Yeah.
after that you get the email from SARS that say, yeah, financial year in.
Yeah.
You have your stuff in order. And now you're scrambling and now you're looking for some. Okay, I don't know how to do
Yeah.
this. I need to find someone. who can-
So I do
I
have
need to pay someone potentially. to do
Yeah.
it.
So I do have a BO template that you can use for future. Because I'm sorry that you struggled so much with that submission.
Lord, was at least 3 months, bro.
So but that was a new thing. So once it's now in,
Started-
it's now
Yeah.
it should be sorted for. Now you just pay the normal annual return.
Yeah.
But remember that the world that you are now entering into is not a world that everybody is a part of. Like my parents for years were just employees. They got their payslip, debit orders, whatever. Gaat aan.
Amount.
On
And
the-
and it's a whole new set of rules. And like I said, it is a game. And the best to prepare for the game is to understand the strategy and the analytics.
yeah, I wish this was as simple as Monopoly, bro.
Sheesh. Me too. But just on that setup about the employee, we also have a lot of people that speak about, I need to get money from SARS. I'm going to get money from SARS. It's tax season and I'm going to get money back. It's not money from SARS. It's actually money that was taken from you too early. So the way a system works is that you earn a certain amount works out how much your tax will be at the end of the year, and it takes fractions of it every month.
Yeah.
So that you don't owe, in a perfect world, you don't owe anything at the end.
Yeah, because it's going to be cucked to pay in a huge amount at once.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's how the system works. Let's say you get a bonus. Let's say you earn more in a particular month. The system doesn't accommodate for that. What it does is, if I earn 10,000 and meant to earn fractions, let's say 1 month I earn 20,000 through commissions, whatever. It annualizes the 20,000 and then takes the total of the 20,000 for 12 months in that month. So you've paid too much in that month. So then when you go back to your 10,000 and we take the 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, when you get to the end of the year and you submit your tax return is wrong because that month they took too much from you. And that's
what a return
that's
is.
the money you get
Okay.
back. So it's not SARS giving you money. It is your own money
He's just getting it back.
that
yeah.
you're just getting back because the system didn't calculate correctly. And again, it's about the narrative. We think we're getting money from them, but it's our money that they have incorrectly received.
How thingy explained it to me, Jordan, because I had a conversation with him.
Did you tell him that you saved his number now or not? Still not.
The thing is, I recognize it. So when that number pop up, I know exactly what he is.
Okay,
So you get
okay.
It's like,
It's like SARS.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
miss it, you know.
Yeah.
Emails.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was telling me that because I was also asking about the whole like, oh, if I pay myself a salary and like I get taxed from that salary, for example, like can it be? Because he was also saying that it's a situation of where if you pay a certain amount of tax every month, but it's more than what you're supposed to pay, then you get the difference back.
Correct.
Yeah. So I asked him, so what would I need to do, for example, if I wanted to partake in this thing? Because I kind of looked at it as like a savings pocket.
Oh yeah.
So okay, cool. If I give SARS the extra 1,000 rand a month,
They're gonna give
unknowingly,
you.
like, oh, I think I'm supposed to pay this much.
Yeah.
At the end of the 12 months, I'm gonna get my tax return and say, okay, cool. We accidentally took 12K from you.
They're gonna give it
so
back to you.
here's your 12K back. Is that?
That's how it works. But I think, are you the type of person that if you have money in your account, you spend it? Because I'm like that. So I'm like that.
Burns a hole in your pocket.
So the way I do it is that I send money out.
Yeah.
So let's say, using the same example, if you had to pay 1,000 rand, so I was just going to give you 12,000 rand without anything back.
Without interest. Yeah.
But if you had to put that 1,000 rand in the 30-day or whatever, that money is then growing for you.
But you see,
So-
the problem with that is now, because I can see it, man.
You know it's there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if I know it's there, no?
Yeah.
I don't mind that 500 penalty
Yeah.
if I'm going to get it tomorrow.
But that's good. So you know that.
Yeah.
So then you must put it in something you can't take out. 12 months.
Yo, 12, man. Notice deposit is crazy.
But these,
That
but you see, these are the mechanisms that are in place to understand you.
Yeah.
Because like I'm also, if it's in my account, I think it's free reign, bro. Like
Yeah.
that's
You
it's
think
it's
Apple
going.
Pay-
It's
Apple Pay
Apple
comes from
Pay is
Apple?
going from Apple. No, but I'm very much of that school. So I am of the. For me, it's money that needs to sit somewhere else. Something that needs a password to get in that I'm gonna forget. Like something that is going to. Because the longer you leave that forgetful money, you're gonna be very surprised
Yeah.
when
By
you
the time
get.
you want it.
By the time you actually find the login or forget the password link, when you get that right, these are the small things that you can do to create those sort of things. And that's why I think it's important that you have these conversations.
Yeah.
But like I said, there isn't the right way.
Someone gave me a good tip a few years ago to make a debit order for yourself for your savings. So instead of you manually doing it,
I
because
did
it's a
that at
choice.
time also.
Yeah.
And then did you withdraw?
No, I was actually very disciplined because I had to pay for studies at that point. So I was
Ah,
like,
okay.
Gone
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
can't use that now.
Guys, do you have any questions? JTI, any of you guys?
JD, fuck that. I work for sure.
Yeah.
I don't got
Modeling.
JTI Productions on lock yet.
Nah, don't, bro.
Do you want to just do you want to cover the VAT argument?
100%.
Yo,
Let's do that.
yeah,
Okay.
We'll come back to that.
So
What about that?
the VAT is the as Jordan explained, there's a mandatory threshold for registering for VAT,
Yeah.
right? But VAT is a two-way street. So in your sort of, like you mentioned, your sort of economy, it's difficult because most of the times you're just sending out. You're not getting much of the input benefit. Let's say majority of your customers were corporates, and you had with larger budgets, they obviously have a lot more money. They tend to only deal with people that are VAT registered. So it's almost like a business sort of intro to be VAT registered, other than the fact that you have to pay over to SARS another tax. That's just seen as kind of a trade, being part of the game sort of trade.
In the VAT click.
In the VAT click. If your customer base is not fully VAT registered or not VAT registered or not corporates, for example, you get a gig overseas, they're not paying South African VAT.
Yeah.
They're not going to care that you are South African VAT
Okay.
registered. So it's about understanding your customer base and catering to get access to that customer base. So if you are a business that serves residential properties, most people in everyday life is not VAT registered. So they're not going to care whether you register for VAT or not.
Yeah.
There, the main threshold is, do I earn more than R1 million a month?
Yes.
Because then you have to. It's law.
Okay.
So-
So I think I mentioned that last week as well about the threshold of R1 million annually.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
So only once you're earning over R1 million annually,
You have to.
you have to.
Correct.
Before that, it's a choice.
Yes.
So I could apply for VAT right now if I wanted to.
correct.
Um,
But most likely you'll pay.
I would pay.
Yes.
So is there a benefit then of doing that?
The benefit is the
If you-
access.
yes, if you're now working with corporate
Correct.
companies, etc.
That is the benefit.
And I mean, in our world as DJs, freelancers, whatever, that only happens for a certain period of the year.
correct.
Yeah,
You know,
it's not consistent.
It's
that
not
2-3 months of corporate events, that's going to be worth it. But in my time as doing this, with all the corporate gigs I've done,
Mm.
not once have I been asked for that.
And they just ask for the invoice, right? Because they need an
the
invoice.
tax
Yeah.
invoice.
So they needed to write it off. They won't claim the VAT. Most likely, it's not making a dent on their side
Sure.
because of their big corporate budgets and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But it's obviously a very big input on your side because
Sure.
that invoice it's glad to be paid. Please
Very
pay your
much.
DJs. And I think it's important that we understand the context
Mm.
because most of the things that we think are normal and just how we trade is access. A lot of it is getting the ability to do stuff.
Okay.
And I think it's important that you see it that way.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier, people don't really like talking about money, right? And this like exchange of knowledge, because this is very important.
Yeah.
As entrepreneurs, as individuals, because you need to know how your money is working and your responsibilities and the tools you have access to. My question is, because a lot of people's mindset is like this, how can we change that? Because higher up in the ladder you go, you mentioned you work for a lot of corporate companies.
Yeah.
Those people, they're collaborating. They are exchanging knowledge. They're not, even though some of them are competitors in some sense, also depending on the industry, there's knowledge exchange, there's collaboration.
Yeah.
So how can we like change people's mindsets to, help them essentially?
So I love that question.
So sorry, just in case we didn't pick it up on the mic. So
Yeah.
it's just
No.
about changing mindsets to
Money conversation.
to understand, you
Yeah.
know. And I get you on that because I sometimes feel like rich families and rich communities stay rich because they have the knowledge.
Yeah.
They
You know?
link up and they
Yeah.
chat.
And it's a networking thing as well, right? So like, for instance, my parents, they have a basic knowledge of finances and taxes and all that kind of thing, but it's the everyday person's knowledge.
Yeah.
A really wealthy person, not necessarily just rich, but a wealthy person, that's smart. You know,
Mm.
that's financial
Literacy.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, literacy, exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's important that we need to decouple the idea that what is out there can only be attained by me. Because I think once and what I mean by that is thinking, because of what I know, it's only going to advance myself, and I'm going to benefit the most from it, because if I do it quicker than you, I'm going to get more money than you. Whereas history has shown us is if I know a bit of the knowledge, you know a bit of the knowledge too, I will get a maximum of my earning potential, you will get the maximum of your earning potential. But if we collaborate, it's tenfold, because now we're merging two sorts of thoughts into a more cohesive product that then builds from there. And then I think the way we have those conversations is understanding that by me having a conversation with you about money doesn't take money away from me.
Yeah.
It makes you understand it better. It makes me understand your industry a bit better. But you never take money away from me. Everything that I earn is based on what I do from there. So the idea that, and especially it's harder to have the conversations when you do the same thing as one another. Both DJs, you both want to get the gig. You both, and now all of a sudden you realize that person got the gig because they dropped their price by 50%, which you were not going to do because it doesn't make sense. And again, those sort of undercutting is bad for your industry, because then everyone else is going to go, oh, but this person, this TikToker is making a food review for 500 rand. Why should I pay a Nadia Jafta or to do a food review because this person's getting X amount of impressions?
Sure.
Again, you justify it with your quality, all the things that you do. But back to the conversation is that understanding that you are not the cause that I earn less. I'm the cause that I earn less because I don't know. And the more we have that conversation, the easier it's going to get. The second thing that we can do is open your circle. A lot of the times we make friends, we stay with the same friends, we're in the same area. We not think the same, but you have the same lived experience. So you don't have access to the way these other people think. Because we're now in a democratized South Africa, you would, most of your gigs, there's people of every type of color, walks of life. People that have good homes, bad homes, they're all now in the same space and in a shared experience. So it's like you're starting from scratch. You all like a certain thing. That's why you're there. And when you open your circle, you get to see how the world works in that way. Because the way you then improve yourself is that if your home isn't that great and you see a family that is like a great functioning family, they have Christmas, they have all, like, why is that family doing so good? And then you figure out it's this one thing that they do. They all go and play soccer on a Sunday, one Sunday a month.
The systems that they put in place.
There's systems around them being that way. They're not just like that overnight.
Sure.
And I do find that the richer families that you do encounter have open conversations. They talk about money in front of their kids. When I was growing up, I was not supposed to know anything about. You just know you have food on your table. You have clothes on your back. You have a bed to sleep in. And then when you get to things like negotiation when you're older, or you get to job market selling yourself, because whether you like it or not, whether you're an employee or business owner, you're always selling yourself. In whatever skill that you're doing. So now you end up being in these spaces, I wouldn't say ill-equipped, but you have to learn quicker. You have to get there. You're learning on the fly. Whereas these cats come out of their houses saying, I can build you a cryptocurrency empire because my daddy said I can. And you're on the same playing field. And I think it's important to know that those collaborative conversations come from expanding the network.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's our responsibility as the next fathers, the next head of households, the next breadwinners for our families. We need to equip ourselves with that knowledge because we want our kids to have that.
Correct.
And to keep those systems in place and get better, It's important to learn these things. And, learning this now at my age, I wish I could have implemented these things 10 years ago. 5 years ago even.
I wish I knew this before I left my job.
Right, exactly.
And the sad reality is that you're going to lose people.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
Once you change your mindset and your view on certain things, you lose people. And most likely people that have known you for most of your life. But unfortunately, unless they see the version of who you are now, they don't deserve to be in your life then.
Yeah.
And it's tough, especially when it's family, because you understand where you want to be.
Yeah.
And sometimes the ones that are closest to you don't see that until it's actually materialized, until you have that international gig. But going to Durban, going to Joburg, doing these smaller things is what unlocks that.
Yeah.
They just don't see it yet. And it's important that you never lose the vision, because you only have one life. We only have one chance to be here.
Real.
If you don't capitalize on that one chance, you're always gonna live with regrets.
I suppose it's never too late, man. I mean,
It's
in the
never too
grand scheme of
late.
things, we're still, in
Bro,
the
Carl Cox is almost 60 years old.
yeah. I mean, look, best case scenario, this shit works out for us perfectly, and we start earning 100K an hour, and and then that's when you need to be ready for that.
Correct.
You don't want to be learning that when shit hits the fan,
Yes.
and you're like, hey, yo,
now
oh,
you
SARS
keep
500K. Yeah,
You're leaking
exactly.
that.
You know what I'm saying?
In the bed.
And I mean, that's why so many celebrities and soccer players, you
They
name
get
it,
ruined financially.
because of tax evasion,
Yeah.
etc.
Correct.
Yeah,
Especially in Spain.
Yeah,
Real.
Spain is crazy.
fuck the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, shoot.
Why does SARS come when the artists receive like 1 million from the label? Because it's a lump sum. So it's one big amount.
One big amount.
But sometimes they will go to gigs and they will receive like 300,000 and 500,000, but SARS won't come after them until when they reach 1 mil, and then after that they get deducted like a hectic event.
So it's about impact, right? And I think it's about the value, because if you are having smaller gigs, let's say you 27% of 1,000 rand is 270. So it's not going to come up, respectfully, so it's not going to chase a 270 from you. But they're going to chase 270,000.
Yeah, fees.
Sure.
So it's about the how it triggers the system as well. And I think it's important to know you're not going to run away from SARS. Right? Wherever you
They'll
are.
run
in the
away
world.
from you. They'll
You
definitely be hard to catch.
There's two things that's certain in life. It's death and taxes. And those are the two things that you need to know is ultimately where you're going. But there are mechanisms to reduce that.
Yeah.
And I think if you inform yourself on what that is, you'll be better off.
So let's talk about the chasing SARS situation. So you obviously learnt about my situation where
Yeah.
my account got hacked or whatever happened. In the last almost 4 years now, trying to, get that money back or just get an answer.
You're a victim.
What can you do as an individual to just speak to a human being at SARS, bro? Like, it's so difficult to get access to them. It's almost impossible.
So you need to make an online appointment at a branch.
And then what?
And did you go to the branch?
Man is fed up.
I got a contact number,
Yes.
email from a specific individual in the fraud department.
Yes.
To this day, brother has
Nothing.
not said a damn word to me.
So
Also,
and
emails slamming in the spam.
Nothing.
but have you always just followed you haven't reinitiated the process?
I honestly, I got so over
Yeah.
it, bro.
So and I
Yeah.
fully understand why.
Yeah, so frustrating.
So one thing you need to understand when dealing with these sort of, it's the same as dealing with a call center environment.
yeah.
You might get the wrong employee on the day.
Mm,
You might get the wrong person that's not picking up
yeah.
what has happened here and how to fix it. Because if you do, it's admin firstly, so you need to reinitiate it. And unfortunately, because it's linked to you, only you can fix it.
Okay.
Because even if you instruct someone, you have to give a legal letter to say this person can speak on my behalf. He
Sure.
knows everything about everything of my life. They want to see you.
Mm.
And the only way you're going to get a physical person is if you make a physical appointment at a branch, which you can do on your profile. Most of the queries I've dealt with, you can just do a call because they didn't take money from me. But you can physically go to the office and discuss, this is what happened, this is how it happened, and hopefully someone picks up there. But I can understand that you just like, you over it.
That's the thing.
Like you like, is it worth chasing that money? Because starting the process again is also going to take 6 to 12 months to fully rectify, if even. But that's also not a guarantee that you're going to get the person that is going to follow up.
Yeah.
And I think it is, make sure that you get the message across to the right person.
Yeah. The way I see it is like, you know, time goes by and you just now on the bottom of this massive pile and they're working from the top, and it's 4 years backlog.
Yep.
Maybe even more, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like you do really feel hopeless in that situation.
Yeah.
It's hard to write off 30
odd,
$6
bro.
grand, bro.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Sheesh.
Imagine.
You should have been on their ass.
Yeah.
I was, bro.
Yeah. Just on
Imagine.
the wrong person.
Yeah, shit.
But I fully understand where you're coming from. And importantly, dealing with admin is frustrating.
Yeah.
Like even this conversation, you might have, sorry for the 50 people that left. Like this, they might not be interested in this conversation.
Yeah, no.
But I do feel it's important that we have these discussions.
100%. Yeah.
Because when the person is ready, and that's a lot of what we do on our platform, is that when the person's ready to have the conversation, they'll come back. They'll come back to when you spoke about this one thing.
Yeah.
And realize, oh, now I'm in a space.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a space where I can understand
For sure.
what is man.
But also, I mean, like I said earlier, I would have loved to start doing these processes and 5 years ago, but maybe that was the time where I was just like,
Exactly.
I'm just focusing on building and getting through the next day, for instance.
Because
not worried about this
the grind tells you that you get the next gig,
Yeah.
get the next one, build a network.
Yeah.
And as a business owner, if you don't work, you don't eat.
Yeah.
So if you don't get you're not going to worry about that SARS bill.
Yeah.
You need to be able to pay for your next thing.
Yeah.
And you do fall into that grind where tax is an afterthought.
Yeah.
But once your customer base and things stabilize, that's when you start looking at it from a different lens
Sure.
of what I want to achieve and how the tax filters into that decision making.
Sure. Brilliant.
Yeah, last question before we end off. The last time I spoke to my financial advisor, he also told me that like my 800 Rand here and my 2000 Rand there is not, SARS not going to worry about it. But the big thing he did point out that I still haven't done, he told me about this tax-free savings account, which I think obviously everyone should do because, yeah. Do you maybe want to elaborate on that? And he also spoke about a RA. Or is it retirement annuity? Is it, yeah, and that one. So how does this also help you in the future with like your tax and getting your money back and things like that?
So a tax-free savings account is just like what it says. The money you put in, when it comes out, so the growth on the money that you put in doesn't get taxed. So you can put, I think it's 36,000 or something. I'll confirm the numbers. But there's a cap on how much you can put in this tax-free savings account. So that is the cap. You can't put any more. And then that thing compounds, and with anything that has time, it compounds. So you put 35, 35, 35. And I think the latest calculation is that if you see it all the way to retirement, it's something like 1.5 or 3 million or something like that. But it's a larger number.
Yeah.
And it's not taxed, right? Because on the growth, it's in a tax-free savings account. So the growth doesn't get taxed. So that is a mechanism to save tax in the future. But now you're talking about your future self.
Yes, but now how does that, when SARS see, but you have a tax-free savings account now, do they, on your annum, scuttle you another?
No. So it's like any other investment. If you have an interest account, like a normal savings interest account, SARS also gets that. So what happens is the bank sends them an IOP5 that says, I've earned 10 Rand interest for the year. So when you file your taxes, it's already pre-populated 10 Rand I earned. But as an individual, there's also an interest exemption to a certain extent, 23,000 or whatever. So even that is tax-free to an extent, but it's not the same as a tax-free savings account. Because I think there's a great content creator called Munya Money that actually shows you the numbers, and it's scary how you literally can be a millionaire in 30 years' time, but you just don't see it. because
It was 30 years.
yeah, exactly.
What's
And-
$1 million going to be in 30 years?
No, I'm talking about multi-million rand.
Okay.
Oh, but that's because of habits.
Yo, they
Yeah.
must make an inflation growth.
There's
account.
there's habits that you form that compound, because anybody who ever speaks about investing says the seventh wonder of the world is compound interest and compound growth, because that if you put money in that grows on top of money, you're winning.
Interest on interest.
Interest on interest. But in order to do that, you need time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't buy a house when I was 6 years old. I didn't buy a house. I didn't have money to put in a compound account at that time.
Yeah.
But it's never too late to start, because you'll be surprised that even if you do something small, as soon as you start seeing a 30%, a 40% on something that you put a 500 rand in 4 years ago, you'll start looking at money a bit differently,
Yeah.
because you don't see that growth. When I'm putting 500 rand in now, I'm not saying it's going to be 1,500 rand in 5 years' time, because I don't see it.
Mm.
And then when you start seeing those types of investments, you're like crazy.
Yeah. It is. It's hard to
It's hard.
to let go of money. It's not giving it away. It's letting it go
Yeah.
So that you can get it back later.
and just saying, okay, I'll see you later. You know,
Yo,
it's-
it was-
It's
hard,
hard.
bro.
Woke up
It's
back-
yeah.
see you later. Because it's like that's faith, man. That's faith to
Yeah.
know
What's
I'm
that?
gonna make it today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ah, you might just
You know what I'm
might
saying?
just
Now you put 10k and you kick the bucket tomorrow.
Hatties.
You know what I'm saying?
Stuff for your 10K.
Hatties.
do we got the JTI's foreplay today?
Hey,
Now we're
dude.
supposed to prepare a foreplay.
Well, if
Oh,
Brody's not here, then
yeah.
he's supposed to do it.
You know, Brody's gonna see this and be like, yeah, you can't do this without me.
I
Yeah.
can't do that to my production manager, bro.
Ay,
Okay, I'll go one for you. Let's do a top 3 financial hacks. Pro tips. Any order.
Any order. So tax-free savings, I think is one of them. Understanding that you can contribute and the maximum that you can contribute, it has a longer term value, which will help you in the future. Might not help you now. The second one, I think that will also benefit you is the looking at your bank statement. Because I think once you understand what's going in and what's going out, I'm not saying set up a budget yet if you're not ready for that yet. Just know how your life is now. That will open up more than you realize in terms of understanding what you can do in the future.
And also seeing, hey, what am I spending on?
What am I spending on?
Going
Yeah.
out, eating out, whatever.
Correct. And then I think the third one, I have to agree with your guy on this one. If you are the type of person that that doesn't put money away, make it a debit order. Don't make it hard for you to do something, because when you do make it hard, you find every excuse not to do it.
Yeah.
And I think understanding yourself and how you operate with money is the best hack.
For sure.
Because once you understand that you can't keep that money in your account, it's tickets.
Yeah, look, I mean, coming back to our RA retirement annuity, like when I see that money go off every month, I'm like,
Yo,
damn,
pain in my heart.
Like-
Like,
that's just keep it here, you know?
can I just hold it for this one?
Yeah, because it's not like it's not an instant
Yes.
use, you know.
Yeah.
Everything else is rent, car,
Yeah.
phone, Wi-Fi, whatever.
Food.
I'm using what it's transactional. This is just,
Yeah.
you know.
But I again, similar to how you guys are playing soccer, like the benefit of playing the soccer is the endurance, the
Yeah.
physical health,
Yeah.
which benefits you now somewhat, but
Yeah.
more benefits your
Later.
future self.
Yeah.
And money, like fitness, is something that you don't see now. It's something that benefits you in the long run.
Yeah. It's a,
In the
yeah.
80th, exactly.
It's a mindset. Liverpool time. bro.
Fergie time.
Slot time. Slot time.
I'm
You're
not a
United
United.
support.
I'm not a United
Who do you
supporter,
support?
but I actually don't support soccer. Unfortunately, I'm a rugby guy.
Okay.
I'm
unfortunate.
no, because I like the banter that soccer comes with.
Oh yeah.
I think there's very much
Yes,
big
yes,
banter in soccer, but I think for me I can't watch a 90-minute and a 0-0 and be satisfied.
Oh, yeah,
So
1000%.
so
That makes
so
sense.
because of that, I can't support the team.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whereas I can watch a 0-0 rugby match and be like, oh, this guy got whatever,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm interested in it.
Got you.
But yeah,
That's
yeah.
good,
enough.
because now we know you're not going to support Arsenal.
Yeah.
I shame.
Guaranteed.
No,
It's a no 1-1 in there. So
Ah,
Yeah.
well, thank you
Thank
so
you for
much,
coming
man.
through,
Yeah,
man.
it was
No, thank you guys.
extremely
Like
eye-opening.
I said in the message, I'm a big fan of you guys, and I think what you guys are doing with this space particularly is so needed in our creator economy, so to speak. And I think the more conversations you have with your people, like having your Reddities, those sort of that sort of experience, guys, on your platform as well is amazing resource, because I think they don't realize it yet, but when they gone, we're going to be speaking about them.
Yeah.
Like you remember this guy.
Yeah.
So the more spaces that we get to document them, it's so vitally important.
It's
Yeah.
like
And
the
that's-
archives.
Yeah.
YouTube is literally one big ass
Big
archive.
archive.
Of history.
Like-
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for those that are interested, we do have a podcast
I
called
was
the
just going to
Gen
ask you.
The-
please
the
plug
Gen
yourself.
Z
Plug
podcast, where we do have these discussions. It is very colored focused, but I feel like Calvin is colored adjacent at this point.
Yeah,
Adjacent.
Yeah, so you grew up in Berkeley. It is what it is. Blue Astro for days. So I think what we try and do there is basically have these discussions, because I think people have, in different times of their life, are able to have the talk.
Yeah.
And what we try to do is get people that are able to have the talk on one platform to archive.
Love it,
He's not
bro.
allowed on because he's white.
We have white people. of course.
Adjacent.
But you again, like I said, it's adjacent.
Yeah. No, we'll would love to come on the pod as well.
Yes.
One day. I think it would be very fun. And any personal hustles or anything you'd like to plug?
Not at the moment. I think once I figure that out,
Yeah.
I will let you guys know. I
Maybe
think
some private financial
some private financial
advice.
advice. So yeah, no. I think nothing that I want to plug now, but I do want to get into that space where we start educating more.
If someone's watching this now and they're wanting to get some advice or something like that, where do you start? What is the best way? Because usually it's word of mouth. Someone you know. Oh, I know this guy. I know this person. Yeah,
Yeah.
but what if you don't have that? What's the go-to?
So you do a Google search, right?
Yeah,
So you find
which is
out,
always trustworthy.
which is always trustworthy.
Yeah.
To see where that sort of content comes from.
Have you ever searched best DJ in Cape Town? Don't.
Don't.
Oh,
But-
someone to do that right
But
now.
I think a lot of our we have so many friends in uni, right?
Yeah.
We have so many people in these so-called educated spaces. Chat to them.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them feel like they say, I've studied this thing, but I don't know what's happening. But as they grow older and they go into these different corporate spaces, they become a different person.
Yeah.
And I think it's once you make contact with those people, that's the best. But I think, to your point, the best one is a referral.
Yeah.
Because they know exactly. Did you Google best DJ Cape Town?
Because it's such a sensitive.
Yes.
You almost. I mean, bookkeeping, for instance, you're giving someone access to
To
every
UV.
single detail of your money,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And that's a very vulnerable thing to do, and you have to
Correct.
trust that person with your life, basically.
Yeah. So that's why, and form a relationship with them.
Yeah.
Importantly.
Of course.
And if we do see someone pursuing that,
Yeah.
support them,
Yeah.
allow them to help, and also don't have the expectation like they're not gonna make mistakes. I think it's important to know we also human, right?
Yeah.
But we need to give each other the space to grow,
Yeah.
and growing with each other will just be more collaborative and better humans.
Love that, bro. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Is he
Thanks for
still
watching.
on?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
Best,
still there.
best
bewildered.
DJ.
I'm so bewildered, bro. Like, this
Crazy.
is kind of crazy.
It's probably changed since I last saw it.
Is
too.
it?
You know, search engine optimization.
Yes.
You know, people are
Oh,
paying
what
for
did you
that.
get when
Yeah.
you searched it?
Bleep that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, please. Straight down,
Bleep that.
people.
Thank you guys for watching.
Oh.
Like,
Love it.
like,
love
comment,
it.
and subscribe.
The professional one.
You say unsubscribe now.
and
Oh,
subscribe.
sorry. Because you said unsubscribe.
Bro. Did you guys enjoy it? You're the only guest we've had this season.
No cap.
Yeah, you've flipping lucky. This is benefits of being students at M&M Pro DJ Academy.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes exclusive. So yeah, shout out. Thank you everybody. Much love. We can discuss this right now, seeing as we're all here. Are we going to carry on a few more episodes? I think it's way too short to end. We usually end it on episode 10,
10.
but I feel like
I mean,
the momentum
in all
is too good now.
fairness, in all fairness, the only thing is probably Daisy's recap and what happened, how it went down, that sort of thing.
We're leading into summer now, because we might be back next week. Let's see.
No, we're not.
No.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
well,
JT.
JT's going on
JT.
holiday. Brody's camera's broken. Like, we're in shambles. Foreplay's back in the mud.
Yo,
Yeah.
can you? When last were we out the mud?
We were never out the mud.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Summer 2024.
Kijk, yeah, it's almost like a rare Pokemon. You can't catch that one anymore.
Real. JP, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
your time,
you.
man. Thank you for explaining everything, in such an understandable and simple way. Because,
Hopefully.
Your people really do be getting
Yeah.
very technical.
Yes,
So
yes.
thank you for that. And if anybody is interested and messages or whatever, would you be okay? For us
Yes,
to-
of course. Happy to. But again, the disclaimer is I don't give financial
Yeah,
advice.
of course.
Because I'm not. If it's whatever, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But we can have the chat. I think it's important that we have chats.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Much
He's still lost in the
Now, I found a list of like the
DJ.
best DJs in Cape Town and the price ranges, and it's all in dollars.
Hectic.
So like I'm like very
Yeah.